Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings. Broadcasting. Well, I'm broadcasting live from my home. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott, and I'm still in the bunker in Littleton. And I'm live too, I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Well, it's a recording, but
Yeah,
I guess we're live.
we're
Recording.
Yeah, we're doing a live.
So we're named this segment Raskin's Gambit. Jamie Raskin is the pride of Maryland, a Democrat congressman.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Baba that you heard. My cat just jumped up on. He's
he's kind of a special guy. He's I got to hand it to him though. He had cancer. I think it was earlier this year, maybe even the end of 2023, and he was able to get through that. So best wishes to him for doing that and surviving and getting through that. I don't know what kind of cancer it was, but I remember I think he lost his hair. He was wearing
wearing a bandana
on his head. So, but it sure didn't slow him down. That's for sure. So don't believe in any political views, but
yeah.
And he comes across as kind of a slime ball, but
pride of Maryland.
Yeah. Somebody's got to love him.
Remember when the Supreme Court ruled that presidents had broad immunity from prosecution so long as what they did was official business? If
it was just earlier this summer, right?
Yeah. Unofficial business, then they can be prosecuted. So the SCOTUS reasoned that Congress must define insurrection. That's what it was about. Now, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, Raskin, is pushing back against the Supreme Court's recent presidential immunity ruling. Thus, we're calling it a gambit, suggesting Democrats are eyeing ways to limit former President Trump's abilities that were expanded by the High Court's decision.
Well, it's interesting because that's not just President Trump's, right? That's any president from this point on.
Any president, yes, any president.
Again, it's one of those elections have consequences, or it's my turn. I'm at the charge, so I don't know. Anyway, so it's up to Congress, the representative branch of the people, to defend the constitutional order against presidents who would trample the freedoms of the people. That's a quote from Representative Jamie Raskin of Maryland. He said that at a press conference alongside former GOP rep Joe Walsh, obviously a true rhino and a never Trumper. This declaration is about protecting the freedoms of the people by closing statutory loopholes that could allow a president to exploit the executive power to trample constitutional freedom and liberty. Quote. So,
close the statutory loopholes that could allow a president to exploit the executive power to trample constitutional freedom and liberty. Yeah. I wonder if you can think of anything off the top of your head that fits into that neat little package there, Scott.
Well, I'm thinking that that they want to limit the abilities of a president, the executive branch, but maybe they should look in their own mirror and check out some things that they could do on the legislative side, because they've been kind of, even with the Republicans in charge by a slim margin, but still in charge, it's pretty crazy. I mean, look at the January or the Jan 6 committee.
That's one example.
That was nuts. And what was really bad about that, if I remember correctly, is that they got rid of all the evidence of that hearing,
as much as they could.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's that's
shady.
That's constitutional, right? They're supposed to save all those records.
But look at the COVID mandates through OSHA. President Biden did an executive order through OSHA to mandate that all employers that have over the 50 employees must take a COVID vaccine. That's trampling the freedoms. No, right. Is that not trampling the freedoms?
Oh, absolutely.
What about wiping away the debt for millions and millions, hundreds of millions of student loan borrowers. That's a Gambit trying to work around the system. Is that trampling on constitutional freedom?
Oh, absolutely. How about Obamacare? That
Yeah,
forcing
yeah.
people
Especially the thing that made you do it. You get penalized on your taxes. That's like the power of the purse through an executive order.
Yeah, taxation without representation. Yeah, that's not good.
Yes, this is all like projection. They're projecting what they do onto Republicans. It's crazy.
And would they continue that on if there were a Democrat president like there is now? And
no,
they're not going to do that. They're going to turn their.
It's totally different. My friends on the other side of the aisle, it's totally different.
Yeah. I hate that expression, by the way. Yeah. My friends on the other side of the aisle. So
sorry. So I didn't mean to trigger you, Scott. I didn't mean to. So Raskin is helping to spearhead an effort urging members of Congress on both sides of the aisle to sign a, quote, no dictators declaration, end quote. Raskin, who held the press conference backed by the American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, on Monday, did not mention Trump by name. The website for the effort similarly stresses that this isn't a partisan issue, unquote, because he's got Walsh on his side. And Liz Cheney and the Kitzinger, Adam Kitzinger. When explaining the 5 pillars of the pledge, that kind of reminds me of Islam, 5 pillars. However, Raskin alluded to a host of accusations that had been lodged against the former president.
All right, so it's like you just said, it's got 5 main pillars to it. 1, limiting the president's power to declare bogus domestic and foreign emergencies to seize power and bypass congressional authority. Yeah, like you said earlier, COVID mandates. Come on. For women, it's your body, it's your right, but not with regards to COVID. That again, we're not playing on an even field here. 2, restricting the president's ability to use the Insurrection Act to deploy a military domestically against the people. I don't see that. So Raskin said, I'm split on this. If Antifa is leading the insurrection, then I'm all for it. Give me a break. There again, he's just such a special guy.
Now, but think about this. If the United States in 1861 if Democrats had said, no, you can't, we're passing an act that you can't use the troops against insurrection, then the South would have just broke away from the North.
Right.
We'd have Confederate states in America, in the Union, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. And then what would have happened to the western part of the country as those states started to form? Which way would they go? I mean, it would have been a mess. This obviously there was some divine power involved in all that, and that's another story. But it would have been a mess. So
if you look closely at this, the military against people, think about it. Then the National Guard of DC wouldn't be able to deploy in DC to stop a group from going to the Capitol, right? So that's what he's saying too. Let the people march on the Capitol, like he wants that to happen with his people come 2025 January 6th. I don't know.
This could be an interesting prelude to what could happen in November. And if it happens in November, I think it's going to start happening in November. It's not going to wait till January 6th,
right?
Or whatever
Right. You may want to think
they lose their minds when they lose power. They lose their minds.
Yeah.
It's a given. So.
Yeah, a close friend of mine, a good friend of mine, sent me a link about the chaos that could happen starting November and how it could affect your 401k and your 403b. So folks, take a close look at that and see what kind of risk you have. Are you willing to lose half of your 401k, 403b, or just lose a small percentage by missing those gains in those 3 months? mean, you got to weigh it. You got to think, is the market going to go south if there's, mass protests? Either way, there could be mass protests on either side.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I just don't. Well, I don't want to say, because we got loons on both sides of the aisle. So, but yeah, let's hope for the best. So.
Yeah. So 3, preventing the adoption of partisan, personal, and ideological loyalty tests, loyalty oaths, and similar authoritarian measures designed to purge the professional civil service and replace qualified workers with unqualified loyalists and sycophants. Okay.
What is that?
Well, a sycophant is like that Sam Brinton. That's a sycophant.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying. But what does that whole little statement come to? I mean, why are you taking? Again, it's the DEI thing, right? Or the CRT. You're taking people that are not qualified and putting them in a position that are already. I don't know. It's
so crazy how they word this. I mean, Sam Brinton comes to your mind first, and he was a sycophant. And I don't know. It's just weird how they worded this. But like you said, it's code to keep the DI people in place and the CRT people in place, right?
And you want to do that? Why? I was raised and brought up in the professional realm of you put the best people qualified for the job in the position, and this is just another way that they're tearing down our country. It's just crazy.
So 4, excuse me.
Bless you.
I'm taking the day off. I'm taking the day off. 4, ensuring that presidents who abuse their powers to commit crimes can be prosecuted like all other citizens, because no one is above the law in America. So isn't that what impeachment is for? If you commit a crime, you are impeached and removed from office, except, of course, when your party says, no, that impeachment is unconstitutional. We're not gonna address it.
And where are they going to draw the line on that? Are they going to go back to things that President Bush did, either Bush's or President Obama, President Clinton?
Certainly for Republicans, they'll go back, but for Democrats, oh no, that was different. That was completely different.
Yeah, just again, two-edged sword here. So not good.
Because no one is above the law in America, and those of us who aspire and attain to public office are nothing but the servants of the people, he continued. I mean, come on. Really? It's like enabling your family to peddle influence like the Clintons and Bidens? Come on, man. Yeah. Servants of the people.
Yeah, I don't know where they come up with this stuff. So, again, more reason for a part-time legislature.
Yeah, it's moral high ground. Yeah.
Yeah. And 5th, constraining the president's ability to use investigative and prosecutorial decisions and resources to pursue personal political vendettas against disfavored groups and perceived enemies of the president. Really?
Huh.
Yeah. Like what's going on right now with our Attorney General, Joe Biden.
Yeah, well, Republicans snuffed Garland. Remember when he was nominated as a justice? Yeah. Unrequited love. So he's got a vendetta. That's a vendetta Garland has against Republicans.
Yeah, but now we have a look at how he acts and what his agenda is. Are we not glad that happened?
Oh yeah, definitely. We dodged a big bullet on that one.
Yeah. So Raskin said, "I hope that when we get back in, we will be able to have at least a couple of serious hearings about the problem of the overreach in the executive branch and weakness to potential tyrants and despots and dictators."
Oh my gosh, come on. That's laying it on thick, man. That's laying it on thick.
Yeah, and folks, if anybody else said that on the right, you'd be screaming from the highest mountain, because they're just looking. All they want, again, they want to get back into power so they can
anything it takes.
Yeah.
get back in any way possible.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, folks.
that's their agenda right there in that last quote that he gave. So crazy.
Yep. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care, everyone. Have a good day.